You're listening to Cards to the Moon, a podcast about trading cards from both a collector and investor perspective. We hope you'll stick around for the ride as we take a deep dive into the state of the hobby, share some hot takes, hopefully some useful advice, and fun stories along the way. Hey guys, welcome to the Friday edition of Cards to the Moon. This is episode 66, and I'm Clark from 5 Card Guys. With me, as always, is Hyung of Integrity Sports Cards and John, who is Trade You at Recess. All right, so this Friday episode is going to be a shorty, but a goodie, and it's going to be very basketball-centric, just because there's a lot of news in the NBA lately with all the free agent signings. But before we get into that discussion, off the top, there's been some controversy lately with the Michael Jordan rookie card. And if you didn't hear, Nat Turner, the CEO of PSA, mentioned that PSA will begin again to grade the 1984-85 Star basketball set, which I believe they didn't do for a while because it was heavily counterfeited. And on top of that announcement, Nat Turner said he considered the Star card MJ's true rookie card, which set the hobby ablaze, with some arguing the Fleer, the more well-known Fleer 1986 card, is still the true rookie. So what about you guys? Any opinion on this one way or another?
True. There's no doubt that the 86 Fleer is like iconic. Okay, So let's get that out of the way. However, it was, and I know people aren't going to be happy about this, but the Star card they consider it the XRC, right? And
which means what?
It's like the extended rookie. It wasn't as a flagship base, but it was part of the extended set. So it was like obviously earlier in Jordan's rookie year. So it does have licensed. It is a licensed product because Star was actually licensed from 83 to 86. They had the 3-year licensing that nobody wanted during the NBA period. Hard to believe, which is crazy. Mm-hmm. But contrary to popular belief, Clark, I believe it wasn't as heavily counterfeited as people are claiming it to be. But I believe there's a lot of like backstory into kind of this card. It's more than just like there's rumors flying around, and it's been kind of like the subject of cards or Jordan rookie debate for years, even among like hobbyists and collectors, right? So there's a whole backstory. You guys actually should check out this website called basketballgold.com. Okay. And it tells you all these myths, like the Mythbuster, and kind of like the true, like what this 84 Star card, like the backstory and everything. And it's pretty crazy, just to say the least. There's too much to kind of unfold here because I know that I'm going a little too deep. But you guys need to check out the backstory on it. It's pretty exciting. And to me, that makes me want the card even more. So from my thing is in 1991, I believe PSA started grading this card. Or they stopped grading this card because it was known as like a type 2 counterfeit, which was known that like that 1984 card, there was like 100 card extra that was printed that wasn't to be released. And apparently those 100 sheets were stolen by the employees, right? So it's this card that PSA stopped grading in like 1991 when they opened up shop, and they haven't graded it since. So for PSA to say they are grading this is an absolute big news in the hobby, like from a hobby perspective, because a lot of hobbyists actually agree that the 84 Star card is his true rookie. I think there's more on that side. More, I would say, modern collectors would say the 86 Fleer just because it's iconic and it has the better image, and the Star card is boring, But yeah, it's a crazy story on that card, so you guys check that out too.
Right. Of course, you would come out, and the marketing behind it. You're going to open up grading for that card, of course you're going to make a hot topic statement to create that buzz. It's a perfect business move. I should know this, but I didn't know about the star licensing from 83 to 86. Technicals aside, I know that Jordan's rookie year is 84, and it makes sense that is actually his rookie year, and hence their fourth, actually the rookie card. But man, we all grew up in that era. Everybody knew 86 Fleer, that was a rookie card. That was a chase. That was the holy grail for Michael Jordan. When it comes down to it, even if the hobby changes and even if the hobby ends up saying, yep, you know what, you guys are right, 84 star, that's the OG rookie, that's the actual rookie card. It doesn't matter. This is like a 52 Mantle, 51 Bowman, the Mantle, 51, 52. It's the same situation where the 86 Fleer is still going to be the Michael Jordan card. So conversation aside, I don't think in the end it's going to change anything. The hobby will still look at 86 Fleer as the card. And maybe people will start saying 84 is the actual rookie card. But yeah, that's how I feel. It's still 80. Nothing will change. Like 86 will still be, that's the card.
Okay. So you're in that camp. All right. I think the one question I have, I don't know if you guys know, but do we know how much of the 84, 85 star cards were printed?
It is said 3 to 5,000.
That's it?
That's it. And because I think BGS has a total of 900 graded.
Yeah.
But if you look at the 86 Fleer, you're talking about probably 30,000 plus graded, right? Mm-hmm. So just for a pop count. But like I know there's rumors saying that there's counterfeits that were printed in the 15,000s. Apparently it's not true. And given I guess the pop count on those cards, it's relatively low for any company because BGS and I think one more other grading company is only grading them, right? So
okay.
I wonder how many, if any, fakes are in BGS slabs.
I don't think any because the backstory. So there was a dealer. His name was Steve Taft. He was like the star dealer. So he actually was like a true hobbyist and like just knows everything. And basically, he was the one who trained BGS on how to detect a counterfeit.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I didn't know that few cards were printed from the star set. So, like, I could see the value of the star card just skyrocket.
Right. For sure.
But in terms of true rookie card, I guess I would have to go with the 84, 85. Like, I did a poll on 5 Card Guys, and it was 60% of the people that voted, maybe about 200 votes, said the Fleer 86 was a true rookie card.
Wow.
And 40% said the star. It's an informal poll, of course. Yeah. But so I just based on that poll result alone, and I think a lot of people still think, like you were saying, John, the 86 Fleer is still their choice for a true rookie card. So like I don't think the value is going to decrease on the 86 Fleer either. Especially the PSA 10s, of course. And we talked about, like, honestly, I think in a previous episode we talked about all these new Fleer boxes being ripped open, and we're like, okay, when is the pop count going to change significantly for these newer PSA 10s just to come and increase the supply from 300 something right now? But since we said that, the supply or the amount of PSA 10s has been pretty constant. It hasn't, you could say PSA is grading tougher or whatnot, however we feel about PSA, but the pop count looks like it's controlled so far at that 300 level. Right. So yeah, but yeah, by definition, I guess the 84, 85 I would have to, because it's not like the Bowman Chrome prospects where the prospects they get their cards autographed before they ever join the major league team, right? But the 84, 85, like Jordan was on the Chicago Bulls. He was on that professional basketball team in that year, and the card, shows him in that uniform. So I don't know how we can technically argue that it wasn't. But to each their own.
Right. I think it comes down to it's just because it's star, right?
Yeah,
it's like if
for sure.
It's like if Griffey's rookie year was, if it was Leaf or like, hockey pro set, pro set hockey, right?
Yeah.
Like just people just kind of viewed it as, I mean, obviously now there's value because of pop count and all of that stuff and, quote unquote true rookie year. But I mean, I would have assumed most people kind of viewed star as trash versus Fleer and tops, right?
I will say the pricing on Star it's not cheap, and right. I think it's gonna go crazy once PSA starts grading these. Right. To be honest, and if there's only 3,000 to 5,000, and PSA is able to, grade them properly. Yeah, right. Exactly. They need that training from Mr. Taft there.
Right.
Now,
before we go on to our discussion,
if you guys owned one right now with all of this buzz, would you guys sell it?
No.
The Star?
Yeah.
I would keep it. 100% keep it.
Yeah, I would keep it too, for sure.
100%.
Interesting. I'd be tempted
so?
to sell it.
I personally think that card has enormous amounts of leg. Enormous. Like we're talking different game, especially with the news of PSA. You know? So.
I agree. Before we move on to the discussion of the episode, there's some talk about the distribution of the Star rookie card set versus the Fleer, which you can get in packs, but the Star, what was it? You can only get as a team set, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
Does that matter to you guys? Is that an issue or what?
I think over time it doesn't, because it ends up being still scarcity. Right, at the end of the day, right? No matter where it comes from, whether it's
like a Tiger Woods Sports Illustrated,
a team set. Yeah, Sports Illustrated was the exact same thing. Perfect example. That's a great example. It's just literally perforated, cut from a page, right?
Magazine.
From a kid's magazine. It's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. All right, interesting discussion, and I'm sure it'll be a hot debate for at least another few weeks. But yeah, I thought it would be interesting to bring up on this podcast episode. All right, let's move on to our discussion. So, like I said at the top of the show, there's been a lot going on in the NBA with a lot of money being thrown around as some of the players. So I selected just 5 of the biggest ones, and I want to get your guys' opinion on whether it changes anything for that player in relation to his sports card value, generally speaking. All right. Let's begin with what some basketball analysts are calling the worst trade in league history. I'm talking about Rudy Gobert going to the Timberwolves for, Malik Beasley, Patrick Beverley, Jared Vanderbilt, Leandro Bolmaro, 2022 first-round selection Walker Kessler, and 4 future first-round picks.
Jeez Louise.
But yeah, that's a lot. But he will now be playing alongside John's boy, Karl Anthony Towns, who also got a huge extension, and of course with Anthony Edwards. So Gobert, any change in his value?
Yeah, it's tough because his value wasn't high to begin with.
Yeah,
true. I mean, you could pick up a Prism PSA 10 auto for like $600, but yeah, I do like the move actually for Minnesota. Not like in the long run, obviously, not what they gave up, of course not. But I guess you'll never know for another 10 years how good this trade is going to be, right? So, yeah, you could say one sucks or one team got the crappier end of the deal, but it's like to be determined, right? But I don't think it's going to impact his value too much, just because, big man's what we talk about. It's like, it's such a tough, if you're not, doing crazy things day in, day out, then I don't know. It's going to be tough for him to sustain prices, in my opinion, but you never know. Yeah.
Man, that trade came out of nowhere.
Right.
I know Rudy Gobert is sought after and many teams would like to add him. But there was no like rampant, like rumors that were happening, like deals are imminent. Here's like what's sort of the asking price. Nothing happened. It just came out of nowhere. And, clearly, I don't know, like Timberwolves management with their coaching staff, they identified that, you know what, our interior defense is god-awful, and the best way to improve it is get the best interior defensive player in the world, and that's going to open up all of the rest of our superstars to do whatever the heck they want, and we're going to be an amazing team, and we got to go all in here and just offer, a deal that cannot be refused. And that's, because it's ridiculous. Like what they gave up is insane. I mean, what they gave up aside, are the Timberwolves better? Yeah, I think so. I think they're a lot better, but that is one price to pay for Rudy Gobert. Jeez.
Agreed. I'm going to keep it simple. I don't think it does anything to Gobert's value, to tell you the truth. He's just getting older.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know how. Well, yeah. Well, before I go on further, what do you think his value?
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think, I think this might ignite Anthony Edwards and Cat's value a little bit, but Rudy Gobert, I don't see it moving at all, to be honest.
Yeah. Actually, you just took the words out of my mouth. If anything, Ant-Man's values should go up, and Cat. So hold on to your Cat cards, John. This is the year to sell. All right. All right. Let's go on to the next player, Zion Williamson, who hasn't played all season last year.
Crazy.
He gets a 5-year rookie max extension worth up to $231 million. Up to $231 million. So yeah. What do you think about Zion's cards?
Oh man. This one's tough because the crazy thing is, although he played only 85 games, this guy is a $300+ million man after his endorsements, after his contract, and he's 22, 23 years old, right? So it's like, and he hasn't even touched his bigger contract yet or his bigger, endorsements. So it's like this guy could be, they're paving the way for him to be like the next GOAT, like we're talking a potential $1 billion, guy, right? And that's crazy to think of because I didn't think Zion was that guy. Like I would have probably picked someone else, but yeah, I guess there's some truth to what the professionals say or what they believe in Zion. So I mean, I think there's opportunity there for sure. I think his price has tumbled so far, but again, he's a type of guy that I would say I would rather invest in him than a Rudy Gobert. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like in a heartbeat. So it's like, yeah, it's not about necessarily, I guess, that he hasn't played. I think it's just like the hype around him is so big that if he does just dominate, it's a perfect marriage for that.
Sure.
Right. Zion, this is another surprising one. We all kind of knew. We talked about Pelicans last year and their marketing for their season ticket holders. It didn't include Zion. And it looked like writing was on the wall that they were going to trade him. And then you don't really hear nothing. And all of a sudden Zion is ripped in one of his Jordan commercials or Nike commercials. And then there's a 5-year max extension. The extension aside, I don't think this really, to be honest, I mean, maybe it has. I haven't really checked prices, but I don't really see it igniting Zion prices. I think whatever position you're in on Zion, and if you're collecting Zion, I think your opinion of him or how you think, what you think of him, I think it'll stay relatively the same. If it was somebody like MPJ, where it was like there's tantalizing, potential and he hasn't really shown it yet, and all of a sudden a team gives him like a supermax contract, in that kind of a situation you'd be like, oh, okay, see, like NBA professionals think of this kid highly, so I'm a bit more confident in putting money into the kid. But Zion, I think everybody already knows what he is, how much of a stud he is when he's playing, so I don't really think it changes anything, to be honest.
Wait, didn't MPJ get a huge contract already?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, right? Like,
I see. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think, Zion Williamson, his pricing dropped mid last season, I think. That was the time. But now, like, if you look at his prices, it's already gone up. Like, it's already priced in his potential for next season.
Recovery, comeback, all that stuff.
Yeah, that whole narrative for sure. So I don't think it does much. Like, it's going to be hard actually for him to have his card value go even further up because he's got to live up to those expectations now going into next season. So we'll see. Good for him getting that contract though. Yeah, all right. The next three guys, this will be quick. It's mostly for like collectors who can't maybe afford a Zion Williamson rookie card right now. But how about like John Wall? You know, like his rookie card is pretty cheap. Signed a 2-year contract with the Clippers. Theoretically, should be playing with Kawhi and Paul George next season. So yeah, he signed for $13.2 million over 2 years. Anything, John Wall? We forgot about him or what?
If you like John Wall, buy his rookie card. That's it.
Okay. PC.
PC. That's it for me.
All right.
Yeah, he's talented. How many years has he not played? 2 years? 2.5 years? Like, it's been a while, right?
It's been a while. Yeah.
I mean, he's still talented. You look at some of the videos of him practicing, like, he's still got the talent. I'm not sure how much he'll fit into. People are saying he's going to fit in really well, but you got 3 sort of like ball dominant point guard style players. I'm not sure how well they'll gel, but I'm sure John Wall is going to have a very limited position, and like he's not going to be playing huge minutes or anything. So I think he'll come back. But yeah, hobby wise, you want to go value bin digging and get some John Wall and take a very low risk position and maybe turn it into something. Yeah, maybe why not? But yeah, I probably wouldn't touch John Wall, to be honest.
Okay. Agreed. PC for me as well. Yeah. All right. How about another guy who currently still plays for the Washington Wizards, Bradley Beal. He re-signed with the Wizards. With the Wizards.
Oh man,
that's the worst thing you could do. $251 million contract.
Honestly, he needed to leave Washington, and I think that's the knock on him at the end of the day. And I'm off of him as well. I know the thing is prices are so cheap that it's not like I said, I don't know if his trajectory is Hall of Fame trajectory, probably not, but like, I mean, all these players you're listing, like John Wall, it's same category. It's like all-star, players that, are talented, and Bradley Beal is like super talented. This guy's dropping 30 a year the last couple of years before, I guess, this past season. Right. So he could score, but like I said, I think it's part of your legacy, and that's why guys like Tony Parker are like, are known, and they're going to get the recognition for, winning championships and leading championship teams. And this is what he's having in basketball. It's like that's the big knock, right? So,
in an era where everybody's jumping ship at, like just like that, like a snap of the finger, and these super teams and whatnot, Bradley Beal is exactly what every fan base wants to see: a true superstar that is dedicated to his city, but for Washington, man, treat him well. You guys got a gem. For the rest of the NBA, that's tough, because I think everybody else wanted to see Beal kind of grow his own wings and go to a team that can, where he'll be showcased and his abilities will be, front and center. So I think everybody's pretty, probably on a selfish side, pretty disappointed that you're not seeing Beal on, another bigger market team. But yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit surprised.
No, you know what? Like, funny enough, I think if he went to another team as like a number 2 or number 3 guy even, totally. And played for a better team, that might have done more to his card value than being the number 1 guy on a mediocre Washington Wizards team. Right. And I personally don't see him as a number 1 guy on any team really. He's super talented, like you guys said, but he's still a number 2 or number 3 guy in this NBA, at least for me. So yeah. I'd be tempted just to pick up one of his Panini Prism rookie cards though.
just because
from the 2012 set too, right? So there you go. All right, last one I want to round off this discussion with is a younger guy, someone with more potential, but Zach Lavine, 5-year contract, 215 million max deal with the Bulls. What do you guys think?
Well, best thing Zach Lavine did was leave Minnesota, and I think he's grown some wings with Chicago. So, like, he's in a tough situation. For me, it's like I'm on like guys like Tatum, Trey ahead of Lavine, and he kind of fits in that little like in between, right? Where it's like, yeah, he's super talented, and I want to see a few more years, before I like commit to him, something like him. So I'm off of Zach Lavine as well.
Okay.
Yeah. With Beal, I think people were tantalizing at the prospect of him being like on a big team like Lakers or something like that to really see his value explode. He's back with the Wizards, status quo. So I don't think Beal anything changes, and the exact same thing goes with Lavine. The only issue with Lavine is he's already on a good team, right? So I think whether he signed this 5-year with the Bulls or the Lakers or any team, I don't think for a guy like Lavine anything would have changed, to be honest. I think his ceiling and who he is on a winning situation, all of that, it's all already baked in. Like, I think you're seeing the height of Zach Lavine prices in the last 12 to 18 months. And I just don't see it going anywhere but either staying stagnant or going down. Unless, out of nowhere, he overtakes DeMar and he's the man. He's hitting all the game-winning shots. He's dropping 45 a night. Something like crazy drastic has to happen. Otherwise, I'm like, I wouldn't touch Zach Lavine. I'm just, unless you're like PC, that's all good. But in terms of investment, no go for me.
Okay. Yeah, he's kind of the same way I feel about John Wall. He's a guy that Chicago Bulls fans, Zach Lavine fans, go for it.
Right.
But he's in that lull period of his career, like we were talking about previously too.
Yeah.
Like, he's got to show that he can take the next step up, and who knows what that looks like with the Bulls. So I'm not investing in Lavine either, despite his huge contract. All right, one last guy, actually, who hasn't been traded yet, but of course I'm talking about Kevin Durant. Who knows? By the time this airs, he might be traded, but as of now, he's still with the Brooklyn Nets. My question to you guys is, where would be the best team for him to sign with to increase his card value? Just talking about hobby impact.
Oh, I was gonna say biased impact. I was just gonna say Toronto sign him.
Yeah.
We need you in Toronto.
Yeah.
Come to Toronto.
I don't see that as a bad move. Like, I don't think it will hurt his value. I think back in the past, if you came to Toronto, it kind of hurt your value. But I think it's different now. So I don't know actually I don't think any team would affect his card value, to be honest. I think he's built his legacy enough where his prices are, for the long term, I think they're gonna be pretty healthy, in my opinion. Okay. He's a beast.
Yep.
So yeah.
If I'm being honest, obviously biased aside, I would love to see him in Toronto. When you look at, I don't know if you guys saw Chris Broussard's take on Toronto. Like, Americans, like a pretty solid population of people in the States still view Toronto kind of, it's Canada, it's not the States, a little bit of a joke. So if KD were to land here, I don't think, to be honest, that's going to really explode his cards. But now we're talking Canadians all of a sudden jumping on KD. Like you saw what happened to Kawhi's cards. You see what's happening with a lot of like PC Blue Jays and PC Raptors. So you could have a reverse effect. Maybe I'm completely underrating the Canadian market. But for me, I think if KD went to the Suns, if he went to the Heat, I could see his value like starting to come back. That could.
I like the Heat. Yeah.
Yeah, like I think that could kind of refresh or restart people's opinions on KD and his chances of winning, all of that stuff. I think if he goes to Golden State, I'm not sure. I think it'd be hit and miss. I think obviously the odds of him winning a championship is there and it's at the highest. But I think people kind of paint him as a villain or like a cop out, like a bit of a coward again. Like I think all of that kind of narrative might start.
This was last week's episode all over again. John has to throw those punches
I gotta throw in some jabs, man.
KD's coming after you, man.
If he went to Golden State, I'll be like, no, man, no, that's not it. So for me, I think Golden State is not it. But if he went to the Suns or Miami, I could see his value really taking a bit of a punch upwards.
Okay. I'm going to say the opposite. Like if he went to the Suns or even the Heat, and definitely if he went to the Warriors, I think he would have that image of chasing rings. Like, you know what I mean? Like on a good, already solid team. So how much more can he contribute to that team?
You better win almost.
Yeah, exactly.
Otherwise you hurt your legacy.
He's got an image whatever team he goes to.
No. But listen, if he comes to Toronto, this is biased, of course. We all mentioned our biases up front.
Here we go.
If he comes to Toronto, like he'll be the guy, right? He has to take the Raptors with him to win the finals again, just like Kawhi did. And I think that adds his legacy, adds to his legacy. Right. And when his career is said and done, that's just gonna be another positive factor for his Hall of Fame ballot and just how people perceive his career, just the numbers. And so come to Toronto, KD. That's my pitch. You'll be happy in Toronto, and your rookie card value will definitely go up. All right. Okay, that's it for today's show, actually. So again, we would like to thank all our subscribers and listeners of our podcast, and we hope you appreciated this episode, and we'll be back for a brand new full-length episode on Tuesday. See you then. Bye. Hey, thanks for listening to Cards to the Moon. We'd really appreciate you subscribing to our podcast wherever you listen to your podcasts. And you can also connect with each of us on Instagram at 5cardguys, or you can follow Hyung at Integrity Sports Cards, or John at TradeU at Recess. You can also check us out at 5cardguys.com. Thanks again, and hope to connect soon.